Team, thanks for coming in. 5 minutes with Julian.
Mate, my pleasure.
I'm looking forward to this one because, as you know, I come and eat up at Berts very often.
Yep.
Come with the family. Let's talk a little bit today about what happens up at Berts, how important produce is to you guys. You know, you're continuously looking at new ways of developing the menu, changing menu. It's very focused on healthy style of eating, showcasing the produce. So if we can talk about where that comes from.
That's our the whole game up there, right? Like everything we do is getting the best stuff we can find and trying to just elevate it, you know what I mean? Without tinkering too much. You know, if we have like a beautiful piece of dory or like a piece of beef or something, we really just try and cook it as simply as we can, perfectly, and then just let that product show.
I think the fit out there is probably one of the best restaurant fit outs in the country.
It's an amazing restaurant to sit in. Like yeah, I kind of take it for granted now, but yeah, like the kitchen, the restaurant, the whole thing, it's just like, it's the best you've ever seen. I'm super lucky.
And mate, when you're out of the kitchen, what do you get up to? You're a bit of a fisherman, I believe.
Attempting to, like I said, like I moved up to the Northern Beaches when we opened Berts. Sure. Just to, you know, a necessity really. And I'm just trying to take biggest advantage of that I can, you know, like get out of the inner city. So, you know, try and get out on the water a little bit, get out in the ocean as much as I can, on the golf course occasionally, like just trying to, you know, sort of step away from the restaurant and sort of.
So just touching on that, if you'd like to talk about the difference between working in a CBD venue versus being up on the beaches, you know, we know that the beaches are known as a more of a relaxing state, but from a work-life balance, do you feel that as well or not so much?
They're totally different worlds. So what some chefs in CBD struggle with, I find a bit easier. But then like I have heaps of challenges of like, you know, attracting staff and, you know, and then the winter times are a bit harder up there and all the rest of it, but then summers are great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like no one is better or worse, it's just a different thing. You know, like and usually like we're a big holiday destination, you know, so public holidays we're really busy, whereas the city's a bit quiet.
Yeah. Now talk a little bit before, you know, the life of Berts. So you mentioned earlier that you're at the Porteño group for a little while.
Yeah, so I started out in Coffs, that's where I grew up, did an apprenticeship there, sort of bashed around a few of the local restaurants and then moved down to Sydney. I worked in an old restaurant which is now called Chiswick, called Prunier's. Oh well, if anyone can remember that one.
Of course.
And then spent a little bit of time there, and then a little bit of time at Aria, and then I spent quite a few years working for Guillaume at Benelong, and then did a bit of travel, came back, ran Bistro Montcur for 3 years after Damien sold it. Found my feet again at at Newport.
That's a wide range, very wide, very good.
Well, I'm getting up there in age, so.
So just lastly, tell me what it's like when you do a tasting. Have you got a smorgasbord of 10 management there, or is there? How does it work?
It's a little bit of both. It's I try not to. I try and let the menu evolve naturally, sort of thing. Like instead of doing a whole reset every couple of weeks, you know, like talking to you and the butchers and the fishmongers and stuff. And when something comes in that's great, I like to get it on. So we, you know, something comes in season. Like when you're talking about the mandarins or the mandarins or something. Get them, sort of like scratch your head for a few minutes, work out what you're going to do with it, play around with it in the kitchen with the guys and sort of see what's what, and then we put it up and then like it.
It's amazing in such a large company, you've got the ability to be so creative. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And it's like, well, they push it to do it. That's why we're, you know, like.
Mate, thank you for coming in.
My pleasure.
Always good to see you, and we'll speak at 3 AM in the morning.
Oh, don't call me at 3 AM.
Thank you, mate.